Honda is recalling over 2 million vehicles in the U.S. over a fuel pump defect. The automaker is recalling nearly 1.7 million vehicles, including some Acura models, due to a steering issue. Check your garage, because Honda is recalling more than 1 million of its vehicles because of a manufacturing issue that could lead to a crash. 720,000 vehicles are recalled for fuel pump issues, another 1.7 million recalled for steering problems. These aren't just numbers, they're real cars driven by real people, all at risk, and they all have one thing in common: the Honda badge on the hood. But these massive recalls are just the tip of the iceberg for Honda. In this video, we're breaking down the full scale of Honda's quality crisis. You'll see how these recalls are crushing Honda's reputation and bottom line, but more importantly, you'll learn what it means for you if you own a Honda or if you're thinking about buying one. Trust me, you need to watch this before making your next car decision. You bought a Honda for reliability, but what if that reliability is a lie? Honda, once synonymous with dependable vehicles, is now facing a massive recall that's shaking the foundation of their reputation. We're talking about 1.7 million vehicles being called back for steering issues. That's not just a small hiccup, it's a full-blown crisis. Let's break down what's really going on here. The problem lies in the steering system, specifically with the tie rods. These crucial components connect the steering wheel to the wheels themselves. When they fail, you lose control of your car. Imagine cruising down the highway at 70 miles per hour, and suddenly your steering wheel becomes useless. That's the kind of nightmare scenario Honda owners are facing. This isn't just affecting one or two models either. We're looking at a wide range of popular Honda vehicles, including the Accord, Civic, and CR-V. These are the bread and butter of Honda's lineup, the cars that millions of people rely on every day to get to work, take their kids to school, and live their lives. And now all of those drivers are at risk. To put this in perspective, let's compare this recall to industry standards. Most recalls affect a few 100,000 vehicles at most, but 1.7 million, that's in a league of its own. It's the kind of number that makes headlines and sends shockwaves through the entire automotive industry. The impact on Honda's reputation could be devastating. For decades, Honda has built its brand on the promise of reliability. They've marketed themselves as the smart choice, the safe choice. But now that image is crumbling faster than a rusty tie rod. Every time a Honda driver sees a recall notice in their mailbox, it's another crack in the foundation of trust that Honda has spent years building. And here's the kicker: this recall isn't just about fixing a few faulty parts, it's about the entire Honda lineup. If such a critical component can fail across so many models, what else might be wrong? Are we looking at the tip of an iceberg of quality control issues? Honda needs to answer these questions, and fast. The real question on everyone's mind is this: is Honda's entire product lineup doomed to fail? It's a harsh question, but it's one that needs to be asked. If Honda can't get something as fundamental as steering right, what hope do they have for more complex systems like engines or transmissions? This recall could be the first domino in a long line of quality issues that brings the whole house of cards tumbling down. While Honda grapples with steering issues, another crisis is brewing under the hood. Imagine cruising down the highway when suddenly your car bursts into flames. Sound like science fiction? For 720,000 Honda owners, it's a terrifying possibility. That's right, Honda is facing yet another massive recall, this time for defective fuel pumps that could lead to dangerous fuel leaks and an increased risk of fire. We're talking about 720,000 vehicles affected, spanning multiple popular models, including the 2023 to 2024 Honda Accord, Accord Hybrid, 2025 Honda Civic Sedan, Civic Sedan Hybrid, and 2023 to 2025 Honda CR-V Hybrid. The problem lies in the high-pressure fuel pump, where cracks can form and grow large enough to cause fuel leaks while the vehicle is in operation. Just picture it: you're driving along, unaware that highly flammable gasoline is seeping out of your engine. One spark, one moment of bad luck, and your reliable Honda could turn into a rolling fireball. Now you might be thinking, surely this is just a precautionary measure, right? Well, think again. The risk is so severe that Honda is urging owners to bring their vehicles in for immediate inspection and replacement of the defective fuel pumps. They're not taking any chances, and neither should you if you own one of these affected models. Let's break down the numbers here. We're looking at over 700,000 vehicles potentially at risk of catching fire. That's not just a small batch of cars, it's entire production runs of some of Honda's most popular models: the Accord, the Civic, the CR-V. These are the backbone of Honda's lineup, the cars that millions of people rely on every day. But here's where it gets really concerning. This fuel pump issue isn't just a standalone problem. Remember those 1.7 million vehicles recalled for steering issues? Well, now we're looking at a total of 2.4 million Honda vehicles with potentially dangerous defects. That's a staggering number that raises serious questions about Honda's quality control processes. You see, fuel pumps aren't experimental new technology. They're a fundamental component that automakers have been perfecting for decades. So when a major manufacturer like Honda has such a widespread issue with a basic part, it makes you wonder what else might be slipping through the cracks. And let's not forget the human cost here. While Honda claims they haven't received any confirmed reports of crashes or injuries related to the defective fuel pumps yet, it's only a matter of time before someone gets hurt if these issues aren't addressed. Every day that passes with these defective vehicles on the road is another day where Honda owners are at risk, unknowingly putting themselves and their families at risk. As if exploding engines weren't bad enough, Honda's facing an even deadlier threat. Their market share is in freefall, with millions of customers jumping ship. But here's the real shocker. It's not just about safety recalls. Honda's sales have taken a nosedive that would make even the most daring stunt driver nervous. We're talking about a jaw-dropping 36% drop in sales over the past few years. That's not just a bad quarter or a temporary slump. It's a full-blown crisis that's threatening to wipe Honda off the automotive map. Let's put this into perspective. While Honda sales are plummeting faster than a lead balloon, their arch-rival Toyota is cruising along just fine. In fact, Toyota's managed to maintain its market share and even grow in some segments. It's like watching a race where Honda's car keeps stalling while Toyota zooms past lap after lap. But where is Honda losing ground the fastest? Look no further than Asia, their home turf. Chinese brands are eating Honda's lunch, serving up feature-packed electric vehicles at prices that make Honda execs break out in a cold sweat. It's a double whammy. Honda's not only struggling with traditional gas-powered cars but also getting left in the dust in the EV revolution. And it's not just about the numbers. Consumer preferences are shifting faster than Honda can keep up. People want tech-loaded, efficient vehicles that won't break the bank. Honda's recent redesigns? They're about as exciting as watching paint dry. Meanwhile, brands like Kia and Hyundai are rolling out cars that look like they've time-traveled from the future, packed with gadgets that make drivers feel like they're piloting a spaceship. Now, you might be thinking, sure, Honda's having a rough patch, but they'll bounce back, right? Well, hold on to your hats, because here's where things get really interesting. Honda's sales collapse isn't just about a few bad designs or tough competition. It's a perfect storm of problems that's been brewing for years. Remember those massive recalls we talked about earlier? That's just the tip of the iceberg. Honda's been hit with a 1-2 punch of supply chain issues and a serious case of playing catch-up in the electric vehicle market.